Bismillahi walhamdulillahi assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers. Inshallah, today we will try our best to complete our study of Surah Al-Hajj and cover the last ayahs of this surah, which is from 52 until 78. Before we start today's lesson, like every other class, we will inshallah go through the actions from our previous class. So the number one action that we took from our last class was this life is temporary. Everything Allah SWT has given us is like a test. And we should try to utilize it and sacrifice it for the sake of Allah SWT to be successful in this world and hereafter. And we went through the specific element of sacrifice that also happens during these Hajj days that we are about to enter. And in that, what we learned is that the sacrifice should be purely, the intention should be purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we should not try to show off, and we should not try to make it like as if, we want other people to please us and get benefit in this world. No, here our sole purpose and intention should be, it should be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it doesn't directly reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Regardless of what animal you are sacrificing, the blood and the flesh and everything doesn't reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what we discussed in the previous lesson. What reaches is the taqwa of people who are making that sacrifice. How much with pure heart and pure intention, they're making this sacrifice. Number two, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then defends those people. So even when you are making any sacrifice related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that He is the protector of that person. So no one can harm the one who is protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we should not be trying to plan and trying to take shortcut and be treacherous. Treacherous means creating like sort of evil plans or thinking that we are oversmarting and we are trying to oversmart na'uzubillah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this should not be our way. Our intention should be pure, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect us. And shaitan puts this waswasa in our mind. Oh, if you do this, then what will happen if you sacrifice this thing? If you give this money, if you give this, if you distribute this wealth, what will happen to yourself? You have to pay the bills and future fee. So shaitan will put these whispers for us not to utilize our resources in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, just to waste them away on things that don't matter. So from that standpoint, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes your protector whenever you start sacrificing things in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every Muslim, male or female, are obligated to pray 5 times a day, and we went through the details at the designated times in line with Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's how the way he taught us how to pray, all the details, we need to follow them as is. There should be no innovation or creation. And we learned that it is better for men to pray it in congregation in the mosques and for females to pray it inside their homes. And there were other elements that we discussed in last class. Then we have to learn from the past nations. Follow the guidance and don't be arrogant. Allah SWT punished and completely eliminated nations that were more powerful than us, nations that were more prosperous than us. They had more wealth, more prosperity, yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eliminated them because of their arrogance, because they thought that they are powerful, they are mighty. They were completely eliminated from the face of this earth. And there are signs in this world, and there are places that you can visit, especially in the Middle East and the areas of Jordan, north of Saudi Arabia, and all of these places where you can actually witness them with your eyes. The type of houses and palaces and castles that they used to make high in the mountains at that time without any strong equipment, heavy bulldozing equipment and all of that still. So that shows us the power that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given them, yet they became arrogant. They defied the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they were actually punished and completely eliminated. Moving forward to today's lesson, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from shaitan, the outcast, the cursed one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious and most merciful. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ مِنَ الرَّسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ. And we have not sent before you any messenger or prophet, but when he tried to convey the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to his people, the shaitan threw in something in his recitation. So shaitan added from his side like whispers or something, trying to misguide people, however, because shaitan is also sitting on the right path, right? So whenever the prophets and the messengers, they were sharing the revelation, shaitan was also whispering in the ears of people, trying to create doubts. فَيَنْسَخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانُ ثُمَّ yuhkimullahu ayati. But Allah abolishes that is thrown by shaitan when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will establish his verses. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when shaitan tries to put these whispers and all of these things, tries to mix it in the message, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala throws it away, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala establishes his ayat, establishes his verses the way they should be established. Wallahu alimun hakim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-knower and all-wise. Now, what happens because of shaitan's waswasa for some people? لِيَجْعَلْ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانُ فِتْنَةً لِلَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ وَالْقَاسِيَةِ قُلُوبُهُمْ. That we may make what shaitan throws a trial for those whose in their heart they have a disease and their hearts are hardened. So the waswasa of shaitan works on people who do not have the right intention from the start. So their hearts are hardened. When they're listening to the Quran, they're not attentive. They're not listening to it with an open heart. They're just listening to it just to reject it. And they're not even open to get the guidance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying the whisper of the shaitan that goes in when somebody is reciting a Quran, or when the prophets used to recite the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the waswasa of shaitan used to work on those people who had bad intentions and their hearts were hardened. They were not ready to receive the message. وَإِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ لَفِي شِقَاقٍ بَعِيدٍ. And indeed, the wrongdoers are surely divided far. They have gone far. So those people who are wrongdoers, those people who have evil intention in their heart, now even when the revelation is recited to them, they are not ready to accept it because they have gone down the wrong path a long way. So they have gone down that wrong path in a very long way. So it's very difficult to get them back now. Now, when the prophets recited Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's revelation, shaitan added his whisper. So this is what we just got from the previous ayah. Now this whisper becomes a trial for those who have disease in their hearts, meaning that they get further misguided, right? So what we can understand from these verses is that the same Quran, same surah or ayah can have a different impact on people depending on their own intention. So if you have a pure intention and you want to learn, you will seek guidance from Quran and you will learn Quran. If you have that intention of, yeah, fine, we will see, I don't know, I don't believe, I don't think so, it's true. Or if you were the chief of Makkah, you would be saying, so this is challenging my authority. I am the one who used to make laws. Now Sharia law will be implemented, or people will follow what the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying. So these were the apprehensions, which is why they were rejecting the revelation that was coming. So the same Quran or a same surah or an ayah can have a different impact on people depending on their own intention. What is the starting point? Step one is, what's our intention? What is the intention of the listener or the intention of the reciter? That overcomes what becomes the outcome. Now, I hope all of you are with me. I will show you an image and you will tell me what does this mean. So what do you get? From the previous ayah, we just learned that the same Quran and same thing can have a different impact on different people depending on what's inside their hearts. So what do you see in this image? What do you get? What am I trying to show here? What's the connection of this GIF image with the previous ayah? Who will tell me? Anything that comes to your mind. There's no right or wrong answer. Yes, Nuruddin, go ahead.
So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Actually, I think you are referring the hearts are chemicals, and whatever we put in its intention, that will force the right tomorrow.
Yes. So you're saying there are different chemicals and the person is putting things. So what's happening?
I mean, when you read the Quran,
yes,
it depends on how you believe it, what you say. Because there's some you get the meaning the other way. So this is what we point. Like it depends on how you believe it.
Exactly. Depending on how you're reading, what's your intention, so it can be different. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you, Nuruddin. Yes, Aziz, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Could you please repeat the question? I didn't get you the first time.
The question is very clear. Now focus on me on the screen. So it says, and we read in the previous ayah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the Quran and the revelation is recited, those people who have evil intention in their hearts, their heart become hardened. and it has and they reject the guidance because of their own evil intention. Right now, the conclusion that we have is the same Quran, same surah or ayah can have different impact on different people depending on their own intention. So depending on how you are you open to listen to the Quran, or are you hard, or are you just listening to just reject it and not accept anything? So it depends. So the same Quran, same surah, same ayah can have a different outcome on different people depending on their own intention. So now I'm showing an image and I'm asking what is the connection of this image with what we just read. So what comes to your mind?
I think it's that the same substance can have different effects on different things.
Exactly. Jazakumullah khairan. And I think this is what Nuruddin also mentioned earlier. So Jazakumullah khairan to both of you. This is exactly what it is showing. There is one box that the person brings in. It's the same substance. However, when he puts it in different chemicals, it has a different reaction. Even the color changes are different. The middle beaker hardly changes its color. The left one, if you look at it, it turns slightly green. The right one immediately turns yellow. And there are different reactions. The same chemical is being put in different compounds, and then you see them reacting in very differently, right? So what this tells us is that when the same Quran is recited, depending on people, depending on who's listening, it can have a different impact. And this is what we are learning from the previous ayah. Because shaitan is also there. He's also putting whispers. So those people who have a strong belief, they will defy those whispers and they will focus on that, yes, I need to seek guidance from Quran. However, those people who have their hearts hardened, it can have a difference. So here, this is a real life example. The same chemical is being added to different compounds, and the reaction is different depending on what was the compound it was being added. So the same Quran, same surah or ayah can have a different impact on people depending on their own intention. This has two actions for us, and I need you guys to focus. This is very, very important. We have to always seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from shaitan before reciting Quran, and or before seeking guidance, or before seeking any good lecture, before listening to something good. We have to seek shaitan's refuge within Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? And how do we do that? We say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. This is what we say, because it's very, very important, because shaitan, the moment you will start to study, the moment you will start to get into this direction or try to get on the right path, shaitan will be sitting and whispering in your ears. So if our intention is not pure and we don't seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection, then chances are that shaitan's whisper will be able to impact us. So point number one is we should seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Point number two, keep your intentions pure. Keep your intentions pure. If you don't understand something, then it is a lacking on our part. So if we don't understand, let's say we are reciting Quran and we say, okay, fine, I didn't understand the meaning of it, or why does it say like this and all of this. This is lacking of knowledge on our part. This is lacking of understanding on our part. We should continue to seek knowledge and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance. This is the same Quran which has guided millions and billions of people over the years. So if we don't understand, or if we don't get the guidance, chances are most probably it is a lacking on our part. So this should be clear to us. And we should not be judgmental. Oh, I was listening to that lecturer and that professor, he said something and I didn't understand, or I didn't like. So maybe, you cannot make an opinion about Islam or Quran based on a person. You cannot. He's trying to deliver his best. He's trying to say things according to best of his knowledge. But if you do not understand, then try to seek other sources of knowledge, and and also continue praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you guidance, to give you the right knowledge. This is very, very important. So I hope these two actions are clear based on the few ayahs that we went through today. وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكَ فَيُؤْمِنُوا بِهِ فَتُخْبِتَ لَهُ قُلُوبُهُمْ. And that we may know those who have been given the knowledge that is the truth from your Lord, and they believe in it and may humbly submit to it their hearts. So these are the people where we should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us with. Their hearts are soft. They are seekers of knowledge. They are praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving them guidance. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَهَادِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِلَىٰ صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is surely the guide of those who believe to the straight path. And this is what we say when we also recite Surah Fatiha, the opening surah of the Quran, where we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put us on the right path and move us away from the path of those who do dhulm or of those who are not on the right path. So from here as well, we should, and this is the second action that we took in the previous slide, where we said we should pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to also provide us guidance and keep our hearts open and continue seeking until you understand something. وَلَا يَزَالُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فِي مِرْيَةٍ مِّنْهُ حَتَّى تَأْتِيَهُمُ السَّاعَةُ بَغْتَةً أَوْ يَأْتِيَهُمْ عَذَابُ يَوْمٍ أَقِيمٍ. And will not cease those who disbelieve to be in doubt of it until comes to them the hour suddenly, or comes to them the punishment of the day which is barren, or the day of judgment. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying those who are rejectors or those who don't believe, they will continue to deny it. They will say, no, what is this? I'm having a good life, I'm having a nice job, I have my kids and I'm having fun, and I've been given everything. Why should I pray 5 times and go to the mosque, and why should I waste my time? I have so many important things to do. Those people who reject the guidance, those people who defy the guidance, they will be caught suddenly by the hour. And it can be 2 things. One is the day of judgment. The other one is also death. Death is also something when our account and when our deeds will stop. So we won't be able to react after it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying those people who disbelieve or remain in doubt about it. Because when you're in doubt, you don't do action. You're in doubt. You'll say, yeah, I will have my mortgage. I'll continue to take interest, or whatever bad deeds I'm doing. Yeah, I will become a better person later on. And when you're in doubt of something, you delay it and you don't take action about it. But when you truly believe in something, then immediately you take action about it. So those people who are in doubt and who are disbelieving, they will be caught by surprise, because suddenly death will come, or suddenly the day of judgment will come, when they will not have any time to react. Nuruddin, you have your hand raised. Is there any comment or question?
Yes, sir. If you remember, I asked you to send the sources.
Sorry,
of
what?
The Tafsir. If you remember, I asked you to share the sources of the Tafsir. So
The Tafsir Ahsanul Kalam, you mean? Yes, I will share it with you. I think it slipped my mind. I will share it separately on WhatsApp, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Most welcome. Okay. Continuing. Al-Mulku Yawma Idhin Lillah. The sovereignty on the day of, or on that day, will be of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will be the only king. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be the only king. He will be the only judge, and he is the best of the judges. We have seen that on the day of judgment. So Al-Mulku Yawma Idhin Lillah. So all of the people who believe that they have power, they have authority, all of them will go away. The sovereignty on that day will be only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yahkumu bainahum. He will judge between them. He will judge between the good people who used to believe, and he will judge between the people who were not believing, they had doubts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will decide who was on the right path. He will judge between them. فَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فِي جَنَّاتِ النَّعِيمِ. So those who believe and did righteous deeds, for them will be gardens of delight. So those are the people who will be rewarded, those people who believed. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا. And those people who disbelieved and denied بِآيَاتِنَا, our verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's verses or ayahs, فَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. Then those for them will be a humiliating punishment. So 2 different types of people. Those people who are believing and following the guidance, changing their lives, trying to be better Muslims every day, trying to be better practicing Muslims every day, because it can be that you are just a Muslim born in a Muslim family while you are not even practicing a single thing, right? So the important thing is to become a practicing Muslim. Important thing is to become a Muslim who follows the guidance and who accepts this from the heart, truly and openly. And these are the 2 different types of people. So basically, we need to, the main action for us is we have to decide on which group of people we will be in. There will be 2 types of people, and there are only 2 types of people. There is no gray. There is nothing in between. Number 1, those who purify their intentions and they seek guidance and they follow that guidance, those are the ones Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying they will be the ones who are rewarded. And they may have to sacrifice. We have seen this in the previous lesson as well. Maybe it seems like from a worldly standpoint, you are sacrificing something or you're giving something away. But this is your investment in your akhirah that will be rewarded, right? The second type of people are those who reject the guidance. They are always in doubt and they will be caught by surprise. On the day of judgment, they will be punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to decide in which group we are in. And it's not just a matter of decision. So if I ask you guys, okay, guys, what will you decide? Of course, all of you will say, yeah, we are decided. And, we want to be amongst the first group who are rewarded, who get into Jannah. We don't want to go into hellfire. But then you go back again and you start doing all the things that you're not supposed to do. You're watching shameful content. You're doing weird things. These days there are lots of opportunities to do all the mischief and the wrong things. So it just doesn't, it's not a matter of answering the question that yes, it's number one that I want to be. The number one means you have to change your life. You have to get on the right path. And this right path has its own important milestones that you go through. It has its own important decisions that you need to make. It has a lot of things. You have to completely change your life according to the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to the hadith and sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's not simply, yes, I don't want to go in hell. Yeah, but then I'm going back and watching those bad videos that my friend just shared with me, and because they're so much fun, So you have to actually take action, get the knowledge, get the guidance, take action and become a better Muslim every day. I hope this point is clear. Okay, excellent. I see Arham and Ahmed, you guys have joined. Jazakumullah khair, and we have been missing you in the class. Great to see you guys in the class. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, good. Arham and
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan for joining. I know it's very early for you. It's early Fajr time for you guys, but Jazakumullah khairan for joining. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us to stay steadfast and to give the same passion like Arham and Ahmed. Jazakumullah khairan for joining, guys. Excellent. Let's proceed. Moving forward. وَالَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ قُتِلُوا أَوْ مَاتُوا لَيَرْزُقَنَّهُمُ اللَّهُ رِزْقًا حَسَنًا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. And those who immigrated in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then were killed or died, surely Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide them a good provision. Rizqan hasana. This is what we need in this world and in the hereafter as well. The best risk is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and risk means everything. Risk doesn't just mean food. It has a very broad meaning in the context of Islam, and it just doesn't mean something that Allah provides us in this world, but risk is also something that will be provided to us in the hereafter in Jannah inshallah. Wa inna Allaha lahuwa khayrur raziqeen. And indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He surely is the best of providers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides us risk. Please have this clarity in your mind. When you grow up, inshallah, and when you start your jobs or you start your businesses and you do everything, yes, you seek your network, you connect with people, you have your bosses. Let's say if you're working, you have your bosses, they have their bosses and everything. There's a hierarchy of the company. But what you need to understand is the provider of risk is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should do your job diligently. You should follow the contract. We have discussed this previously in our classes, but don't think that your boss is the one providing you risk. Don't think that your boss is the one or the company is the one providing you salary or the promotion or something, because then we are sort of borderline thinking or giving the attribute of the provider of risk to other people. That can be borderline shirk as well. And we have gone through it in the details of shirk. So yes, they can be agents. They can support us. They are part of the network, but the source is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should be clear in your head. You can move from one company to another. You can have one boss to another. You can start one business, close it, start another. But the risk is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the only source. The channel or the agent or the network can be different, but the source is one, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He surely is the best of the providers. And if you look at this statement, it has double, triple emphasis in it. Wa inna Allah, and indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lahuwa, He surely is khayrur raziqeen, the best of the providers. Okay, I hope this point is clear. Moving forward. لَيُدْخِلَنَّهُمْ مُدْخَلًا يَرْزَوْنَ. Surely he will admit them to an entrance, they will be pleased with it. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَعَلِيمٌ حَلِيمٌ. And indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all-knowing. Surely he is the most forbearing. And he is the one who's the most Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit those people and they will they will enter into something that will be pleasing to them, meaning Jannah. ذَلِكَ, that. وَمَنْ آقَبَ بِمِثْلِ مَا أُوقِبَ بِهِ ثُمَّ بُغِيَ عَلَيْهِ لَيَنْصُرَنَّهُ اللَّهُ. That, and whoever has retaliated with the like of that, he has made to suffer by it, then he was oppressed on him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will surely help him. So these are the people who are being oppressed. And we know this surah came before the migration of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his followers to Medina. So before, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned about those people who are being oppressed, those people who are fighting in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those people who have been oppressed and made to suffer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eventually will definitely help them. So it comes as a test. It can come as a test for us for a time being, but eventually the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come to them. Inna Allah la'afuwun ghafoor. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is surely of pardoning and of forgiving. It so happened during the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that when the oppression of the kuffar and the chiefs and those who were opposing, it went very high and people were really facing hardships. Some of them even started to ask that when will help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come, because they were so much oppressed. And then there were some ayahs that we went through earlier as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Jannah is not easy. They will surely be tested. Same is for us. Even for us, Jannah will not be easy and given to us like in a plate or something, right? We have to strive in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So somebody's asking in chat, which surah is this? This is Surah Al-Hajj. And we are trying, inshallah, we will try to go through ayah number 52 until 78, which is the last part of the surah. So this is Surah Al-Hajj. Okay, good. Moving forward to ayah number 61. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ. That is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يُولِجُ اللَّيْلَ فِي النَّهَارِ وَيُولِجُ النَّهَارَ فِي اللَّيْلِ. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala causes the night to enter into the day and causes the day to enter into the night. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ بَصِيرٌ. And indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all hearer, all seer. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the control of everything. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he makes the night to enter into the day and day to enter into the night, this is a phenomena that is beyond all human beings. No one can claim that, yes, I am the one who just lifted the sun up, or I'm the one who just pushed the sun down and brought the moon up. And no, it's not in our control, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's doing it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in the control of it. So this is a phenomena that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving as an example to us, that he is the one who's controlling this balance that we have around the earth and even within the earth and the entire solar system and the planets and the stars and the moons and everything. Everything is in control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This alone should be enough for us to believe in the guidance and believe in the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought to us by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْحَقُّ. That is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is the truth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-haq. وَأَنَّ مَا يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ هُوَ الْبَاطِلُ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْكَبِيرُ. So indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's truth, and that what they invoke besides him, all is falsehood. The only thing that the only Lord, the only Rabb is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything that they are invoking besides him, any other god that they have made out of stone, made out of fire, or any other god that they are discussing, be it Christians and the Jews and the pagans and the non-believers, disbelievers, whosoever they are considering their god, everything else is falsehood. Al-Haq is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa anna Allah huwa al-aliyyul kabir. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's the most high, he's the highest, and he is the most great, he's the greatest. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the highest and greatest. The rest of the things that they are creating and innovating, they have no meaning. They are all falsehood. Alam tara anna Allah anzala minas sama'i ma. Do not you see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down from the sky water? Who's causing that rain to happen? Fatusbihul ardu mukhzarrat. Then becomes the earth green. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does rain, that's when, you know, all the vegetation, all the agriculture, everything flourishes, flowers, grass, greenery, all the agriculture, everything that happens. We don't do anything, right? What we do is we put down seeds, or we take some water that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anyways gave us, either from the snow and from the rivers falling down, or from the sky, which is the rain. All water in this world, of course, is coming out from the same sources that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for us to survive in. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is defining a phenomena that is purely under his control. He does rain, water sends down, and vegetation and everything flourishes. So life flourishes. Just like life comes up from the dead ground, when it is all dark and brown and all dead, the seeds are non-moving. From there life emerges, from their plants emerge, from their fruits emerge, and from their other life benefits in this earth. Imagine if all the vegetation, all the plants, everything that goes away. First of all, what will happen to the vegetarians? And second of all, even for the non-vegetarians who are eating meat and everything, what will happen? Because those animals that graze on land or graze on vegetation won't be able to survive as well. So the entire life cycle will stop. So water is also a sign of life cycle, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying he's the one who's controlling the life cycle. Again, this is a sign for people to start believing. Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil earth. For him is whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. Wa inna Allah lahu wal ghaniyyul hamid. And indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely is free of need. And he's the one who needs to be praised. He's the praiseworthy. He's the one who should be praised because he's the source of everything. When you want to thank or praise, you go to the source of the thing, right? And the word ghani here is very, very important. Al-ghani. Al-ghani means he's free of any need and he is self-sufficient. Because people ask these questions, oh, so Allah SWT created everything. Who created Allah SWT? Why did Allah SWT created this earth? What benefit is it for him? Why did he, what's the benefit for, Allah SWT for creating all this creation, everything? These are all false questions. And the only answer is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-ghani. He's self-sufficient. He doesn't have any need. He doesn't even have the need of worship. He doesn't have any need. And we cannot in any way benefit or impact him. So I was going through this word al-ghani, which is amongst the 99 names and the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the meaning is beautiful. I want you guys to focus with me and let's go through this meaning. Al-ghani means he who is completely satisfied, already satisfied. So if something, or if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is already satisfied, that means nothing else you can give him because he's already satisfied. He who is completely satisfied. He who is free from any wants. He doesn't have any want. So if a person, if there's an entity who has no want, regardless of what you offer them, they don't even want it. They don't have any need, they don't want it. He who is free from any dependence. He's not dependent on anyone. He upon whose wealth and riches all others depend. So he's the one who creates these resources. And when he creates the resources, those resources are utilized by those people who are dependent on it. We are the ones who are dependent on the resources from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those resources are everywhere spread around us in the form of this world. One of the biggest resources that we have is the air that we breathe in and breathe out. We don't even see it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created it as it's invisible, yet we feel, we can breathe. And in this air, there are multiple gases that we benefit from. However, for breathing specifically, we need oxygen. And we are able to separate it and exhale the rest of the gases that we don't need, like carbon dioxide, the rest of them. So this is an amazing, amazing phenomena created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that in itself, this in itself is sufficient for us to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the point that he's al-ghani means he himself is free of any need. So anything we do doesn't reach or benefit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do everything for our own sake and our own akhirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's work doesn't stop. You can apply this to everything. When you worship, when you pray, this is all for our benefit. When you're trying to, I don't know if you guys have kids around or, your parents as well. Since childhood, what we do with kids is we try to feed them, eat this, take this, take some fruits, take some healthy things, don't eat candies, don't eat chocolate, because you'll harm yourself and all of this. Parents specifically keep on telling this to their children. And when they're saying this and when they're trying to feed their kids with spoon, where is the food going to? It's going to the kid, right? It's not really directly benefiting the parents. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that way doesn't benefit from anything that we do. Even the worship that we do, the prayers that we make, even when we are helping others, let's say you have some extra money, somebody came and asked you for money and you are helping that person. First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not benefiting. And second of all, you are giving it from anyways the money that was given to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everything we have already discussed it multiple times, all good, all khair is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be it in the form of food, wealth, power, extra, anything that we have, knowledge, houses, cars, everything that we benefit, that we can think about benefiting from is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, when you are helping, even in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let's say you are teaching somebody Islam or Quran or Hadith, or you are spreading the message of Islam, you're not helping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're working for your own akhirah. His work will continue. Someone else will do it. And we saw it in multiple ayahs previously. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it is very easy for him to replace you with other people. So let's say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you extra risk, extra money, and you kept it for yourself. Again, we went through this previously as well. Let's say you have a need of 10,000. It can be anything, $10,000, reals, rupees, whatever you want to think about. Let's say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have a need of 10,000, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you a job or salary of 15,000, 20,000, right? And that extra money, obviously you are expected to help others. So if you keep on retaining all of the money to yourself, eventually what will happen is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will stop giving you that extra risk and it can go to those people for whom it was destined from other sources. So whatever we give or whatever we do is for our own sake and our own akhirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's work doesn't stop. Shaitan's attempt is to make us arrogant even while doing good deeds. So he whispers, Shaitan is always with us. Even when you're trying to help someone or doing good deeds, let's say he's saying, he gives you these sorts, oh, wow, I mean, I'm rich, look at me, I have some money. And, I'm giving him like this, and I'm the one who's distributing the money to these people. I'm the one feeding. And, you get these things in your head. I'm helping others. I'm such a good person. All the people should know about it. My friends and family should know about it so that they can praise me and all of these things. Shaitan is putting these whispers. Even when you're doing good thing, he wants you to become arrogant. And so why am I linking this to the first part? Because anything that you're doing is not benefiting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, it can benefit those people whom you are helping. But again, everything that was given to you was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in order to, what is the lesson from us, or what is the action of all this discussion that we just had? Whenever in our life, when we do anything good, we need to remember two things. Number one is, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enabled us. He gave us that money. He gave us those resources. He gave us those time. Even to help others, he gave us that thought. He gave us that thought to help others even. And then when you do the good deed, and when you do the good deed, it was for your own sake. It was for your own akhirah. The need would have been completed regardless of you. Whatever good deed you are thinking that you are doing, even if you're helping someone, giving them food, let's say, or if you're passing by your car and you see a beggar and you give them some food, then if you would have driven past them without giving them food, the food would have reached them, or maybe something even better would have reached them by the second car or the third car or any other person passing by. So for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not difficult, and he makes provision for everyone. Wallahu khairur raziqeen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best provider of rizq. Whatever you do in order to keep yourself humble and not become arrogant, you should always think that everything is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm only doing this for my own akhirah, for my own sake. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anyways is not receiving it directly. So I hope this point is clear. We spent some time on it, but it was very important for us, especially moving forward in our lives. Any comment before I move forward? Anything on this point? Okay. Alam tara anna Allah sakhara lakum ma fil ardi wal fulka tajri fil bahri bi amri. Do not you see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has subjected to you what is in the earth and the ships that sail through the sea by his command? Again, we need to stay humble when we are having these big aircrafts, when we are sailing, especially in the sea. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the example. Who's moving that boat? A little bit more wind, the boat can be toppled, what we call the storm. A little bit of high tide on water and your entire boat can flip through. Who's holding it through? Who's guiding the wind? Who is even blowing the wind? What if the wind stops, for example? How will you sail through the sea? How will your ship will be static if the wind stops? Who's running that wind? Are you blowing it with a big fan that, okay, fine, now from one of the seaports, one of the governments, they decided, let's say Australia and USA and New Zealand and China and Russia, all of these countries are installing big fans on the sea so that, there can be winds blown during the sea so that the trade can happen and the ships and the boats can go in and we can sail through. No, nothing of this sort is happening. All of this, the wind and all these resources are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even the air that the aeroplane uses to push it through is provided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has subjected to you what is in the earth and the ships that sail through the sea. Even if you look at animals, how do we even ride horses? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has subjected them to us. Otherwise, stronger, like a horse is 3, 4, 5 times stronger than a normal person, a human being. Yet we are able to ride. And there's a prayer, Subhanallazi sakhkhar lana, like when we start and we're about to ride. By the way, you will understand the meaning of that short prayer that we are supposed to recite whenever we are about to make a journey. You will understand the meaning of it once you sit on an animal, on a horse or on a camel. That's where you realize that yes, indeed, power is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has given us control and only Allah can give us control of that animal. It's so powerful. وَيُمْسِكُ السَّمَاءَ أَن تَقَعَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. And he withholds the sky lest it falls on the earth except by his permission. Inna Allaha bin nasi la'ufur rahim. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to mankind is full of kindness, the most merciful. No matter wherever you look at around this world, you will find an element of mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us. It's only a matter of watching it first, understanding and realizing, and then believing, starting to believe in it. وَهُوَ الَّذِي أَحْيَاكُمْ. And he is the one who gave you life. ثُمَّ يُمِيتُكُمْ ثُمَّ يُحْيِيكُمْ. Then he will cause you to die, then he will give you life again. The way this starts is, and this is again something to believe in the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gave you life, then he will cause you to die, and then he will give you life again. It's not very difficult. Our current life is a testimony that just like we are sitting here talking to each other and we are alive and we are talking to each other, same way on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring us back to life again. And the same way we will be having discussions on what happened and what we did and not. So hopefully we go through this test believing on the day of judgment. Like we discussed in the last class or the class previously, the day of judgment will happen any other, like on a day, like, the next week we are planning, next week I'll do this on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So maybe, we are putting these appointments and we are thinking, okay, I have to do this on the next week. I have my exam. The next week, our vacations are about to start. The Hajj will be on this day. The same way day of judgment is planned. It's just that we don't know when. So it is as real as the rest of the things we plan. Death is as real, right? Everybody dies. We know this. Everybody dies all around. There's not a single person who says, I've been here 10,000, 11,000 years and, I'm still alive. No, everybody dies. So when you die, so this anyways is a reality of the end of life. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gave you life and then he will cause you to die. So these two things are a reality we know. We are Alhamdulillah alive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us life and he will cause you to die. We know there is a day on which we will die. The third one is also we need to believe, it's very simple. Then he will give you life again. And that's about day of judgment. Innal insana lakafur. Indeed, surely man is ungrateful. Even after knowing these realities, even after watching all the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, looking around the world, man is still ungrateful and he's not believing and he is in doubt. لِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ جَعَلْنَا مَنْسَكًا هُمْ نَاسِكُهُ فَلَا يُنَازِعُنَّكَ فِي الْأَمْرِ وَادْعُوا إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ. For every nation we have made rights, they perform it. There are duties that every nation is being given, and they continue to perform it. So let them not dispute with you in the matter, but invite them to your Lord. So when you're inviting other nations and you're inviting other people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has defined a role and context for everyone. What you should do is just invite them to your Lord, and there is no point of disputing or arguing unnecessarily. Invite them to the message that has been given to you. Innaka la'ala hudam mustaqim. Indeed, you are surely on the right guidance. So the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was receiving these revelations, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reassuring him, you are on the right guidance. Your job is to pass on the message to other nations. وَإِن جَادَلُوكَ فَقُلِ اللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. And if they argue with you, then say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most knowing of what you do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything, in what is inside your hearts, what you are doing. You cannot hide it from everything. He knows, and when he knows, that means he can hold you accountable on the day of judgment. So he is the one who's recording. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you are saying, what you are not saying. Your intentions are known by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one who has all the knowledge of what you're doing, and eventually you will be held accountable on the day of judgment. Allahu yahkumu bainakum yawm al-qiyamati fima kuntum fihi takhtalifun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge between you on the day of resurrection concerning what you used to do in it and how you used to differ. So if you connect both these ayahs, and if they argue with you, then say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most knowing of what you do, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge between you on the day of resurrection, on the day of judgment, concerning what they used to do and how they used to differ. So he has knowledge of everything. Everything is being recorded. On the day of judgment, he will decide who was right and who was not right. Alam ta'lam anna Allah ya'lamu ma fis samawati wal ard. Do not you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is in the heavens and the earth? He has the knowledge of everything. He is the one who created it. Inna zalika fi kitab. Indeed, that is in a record. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is recording each and every detail. It's like a CCTV camera always watching us. So when shaitan tells you you are alone, do whatever, or do it quickly because before someone comes. So just, just watch it and complete it, and you're looking at the door and where are my parents, are they sleeping, and let me just do this. Or you're switching between windows and showing, yeah, what are you doing? I'm doing my homework. And then you're switching between windows. All of this is a smartness to fool other people. But you cannot deceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he is watching you, and everything is getting recorded. Inna dhalika ala Allahi yasir. Indeed, that is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very easy. Everything is being recorded. And by the way, when we are trying to deceive others, we are actually deceiving ourselves. When we are trying to deceive our parents, when we are trying to deceive our friends, when we are trying to deceive our school teachers or whosoever people around us, when we are trying to deceive someone, we are actually deceiving ourselves, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is recording everything, right? So nothing is hidden from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always keep this in mind. There are CCTV cameras. There are cameras all around you, recording everything that you're doing when you think nobody is watching you. This is the biggest deception of shaitan. Nobody is watching you. So have fun. My parents are not there. I'm just with my friends. And friends are supposed to have fun. And fun can be anything. And let me try this stuff and that stuff. Let me go. I will say that I'm going to study, but let me go to whatever thing that I want to go out with my friends. And my parents normally would not allow me. All of these things that he makes you think you're not being watched. Your parents are not there. Your teacher is not looking. Let me cheat quickly. That person is not. Any negative thing that you do, that you feel the authority in this world is not watching you, but actually there are 4 or 5 CCTV cameras and everything is being recorded. It's here in front of us. Here it is in front of us. Indeed, that is in the record. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is in the heaven and the earth. You cannot escape from the heaven and the earth, right? We cannot escape from the world. We cannot say, oh, now we are going out. I've just taken a flight and now I'm crossing this boundary. And after this boundary, no one will be able to record or control me. I can do whatever I want. No, this doesn't happen with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's saying everything in the heaven and the earth, he knows, it is being recorded. It will be revealed on the day of judgment. Nuruddin, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, I have a comment to make.
Yes.
The CCTV cameras, or we feel like someone watching us, is for us. Allah is unforgetful. He knows everything, as we mentioned. So it is for us that from Pakistan to US, this much flight and this is it. But for him, it's a 1 second. And when he sees us doing something wrong or right, we know what we do. So even if there is no CCTV camera, we can still see us and show us if we are wrong on the day of judgment.
Yes, Nuruddin, Jazakallah khairan. This is exactly what I'm saying. By the way, the example of CCTV camera is, it's just to show you, like a CCTV
I understood.
camera is watching us. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us all the time. It's just for us to realize, it's just for us to think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us, and it's like having CCTV cameras all around us. So even when we think that we are alone, always think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us as if there is a CCTV camera on you. So it's just like an example that I'm saying for us to understand. We are never alone, guys. So this shaitan, this friend, these things, the night, the darkness, even if you're under your blanket, whatever, you're never alone. So you cannot hide. There is no such thing, no place in the earth or the heaven where you can hide, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying He is encompassing over everything. And it is very easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to record everything. وَيَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يُنَزِّلْ بِهِ سُلْطَانًا وَمَا لَيْسَ لَهُمْ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. And they worship besides Allah what He has not sent down for it any authority, and what they have not any knowledge of it. So now they are trying to worship other gods besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and those gods has no authority. There is no truth in them. They cannot even do anything. وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ مِن نَصِيرٍ. And will be for the wrongdoer, there will be no helper for the wrongdoers. So these are the people who are wrongdoers. They're following other gods. They're following other rulers. They're following Pharaoh. They're following Namrud. They're following other people. They're following their chief, they're following their king, without even thinking about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, who's the real king and Rabb of all of us. So whosoever you worship or follow other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those people are wrongdoers. So we have to be very clear on this point. And then there will be no helper for them. وَإِذَا تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُنَا بَيِّنَاتٍ تَعْرِفُ فِي وُجُوهِ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا الْمُنْكَرِ. And when are recited to them our verses clear, you will recognize on the faces of those who disbelieve the denial. When the verses are being recited, when you will talk good thing to other people, they are already in denial. You ask someone to not do this, just tell them that if a group of friends, they want to watch a movie, and you tell them that, no, I won't go to that movie because, it's not appropriate, or, whatever they will show, it's not according to Islam. It's not something that will take me close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will look at you as if you are an alien. Their eyes will be popped out and what are you talking about? It's like they're totally in denial. So it's not just about reciting the Quran. It's about whenever you will try to follow the guidance, or you say, no, I will not go to that party because, it's mixed gathering. There will be girls there and there are boys there, and I don't want to go to that mixed gathering. Or you say, I will avoid the birthday. I won't go to that birthday party because birthday anyways, there's no valid reason in Islam. So I'm not trying to bring in an element of fiqh or Islamic scholarly standpoint. I'm just giving you an example. When you will do something that is in line with the guidance, other people will look at you as if you're an alien, and they'll be in denial. Dude, what are you talking about, right? So, and especially when you will start reciting ayahs, and if you give them instructions, and if you talk about the guidance and following Quran and following the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, these days, the way life is, the way we are living our lives, the schools that we are going to, the people that we are meeting, our social circle and everything, if you start to talk about Islam or follow Islam, or even talk to it about your friends who don't have that knowledge, they'll look at you as if, what are you talking about? This is exactly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. And when our verses are recited to them clear, you will recognize on the faces of those who disbelieve the denial. يَكَادُونَ يَسْطُونَ بِالَّذِينَ يَتْلُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِنَا. They almost attack those who recite to them our verses. What are you saying? No, this is wrong. And all of these things, no, it's not. And by the way, there are a lot of sensitive topics these days that are all around us over the internet, social media everywhere, that are directly against Islam. For example, homosexuality, LGBT, all of these things. If you start talking them, no, this is not right, and this is the right thing, and yes, it's a problem, it's an issue, however, it should be cured, and homosexuality is haram in Islam, and all of these things, the moment you will say, they will start attacking you. and they will form a group. This is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. They almost attack those who recite to them our verses. These are the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the story of Lut alayhi salam and his nation on homosexuality, it's so clear. Stones came from the sky and the names were written on the stones of the people who were committing that heinous crime, that they started doing that crime of homosexuality. So these are the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you will recite them, they will almost attack you together and they will say, what is this person talking about? Qul, say, afa'u nabbi'ukum bi sharrim min dhalikum. Say, then shall I inform you of worse than that? Annar, the fire. Wa'adaha Allahu allazina kafaru. Wa bi'sal masir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised it for those who disbelieve, and rest is the destination. Annar, the fire. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look at the sequence. If you just go through the sequence with me again on this ayah. So first of all, and when recited to them, when our verses are recited to them that are clear, you will recognize on the faces of those disbelief and denial. So those, first of all, they will start rejecting the verses and they will say, no, this is not true. Then they almost attack those who recite to them our verses. So they will start to attack you. Qul afa'unabbi'ukum bi sharrim min dhalikum. Qul, say, then shall I inform you of worse than that? Annar, the fire. Wa'adaha Allahu allazina kafaru. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised it for those who disbelieve. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is promising fire that is even worse than what they are saying. Wa bi'sal masir, and rest is the destination in which they will live forever. So this is how, when people who try to follow the guidance, they can be attacked and they can be opposed from the people who do not believe. Ya ayyuhan nasu, O mankind, zuriba mathalun fastami'u lahu. An example is set forth, so listen to it. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying, O believers. He's saying, O mankind. Mankind means everyone. Believer, non-believer, Muslim, Christian, Jew, pagan, non-believer, atheist, anyone. O mankind, an example is set forth, so listen to it. What is this? Inna allazina tad'una min dunillahi lan yakhluqu dhubaban walawij tama'u lahu. Indeed, those whom you evoke besides Allah will never create even a fly, even if they all gather together. So even if they gather together, they don't even have a control to create a fly, a small fly, let alone all the creation and the amazing creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They cannot even create a small fly. وَإِن يَسْلُبْهُمُ الذُّبَابُ شَيْئًا لَا يَسْتَنْقِذُوهُ مِنْ. So, and if the fly snatched away from them a thing, they could not even get back from it. So even if a small fly comes in and it snatches away, and let's say it flies away from you, you won't be able to catch it. They won't be able to catch it. Za'ufat talibu wal matlub. So weak are the seeker and the one who is sought. So if you have other gods and if you're following someone else, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if you collect them all, they cannot even create a fly. And if that fly takes away something from them, even if they join together all together, they cannot take it back from them. So can you see how weak they are, those people who are following those gods or the following gods? And can you see how weak their own gods are? They have no power whatsoever. Even the fly is following the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ma qadarullaha haqqa qadri. They have not estimated Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with his due estimation. They have not even realized the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna Allah laqawiyyun aziz. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is surely all strong, almighty. This means he has all the strength, and even if you combine the strength of everything in this world, it's to no match, because he is laqawiyyun aziz. He is all strong, almighty. Allahu yastafi minal malaikati rusulam wa minan nas. Allah chooses from the angels messengers and from the mankind. So we know Angel Jibreel used to bring in the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses the messenger from the angels as well as the messenger from mankind, which is all the prophets and messengers that he sent on earth. In Allah Samiyum Basir, indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all hearer and all seer. He has all the knowledge and he knows what the messengers are doing. Are they passing on the message correctly or not? Because some of the people used to say, and even these times, some people think that, the message was not passed on correctly and how did it came, and Angel Jibreel was supposed to do this, and they have their own innovations in their head. Angel Jibreel was supposed to do this and he did that, and Prophet Muhammad should have done. So these things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, he carefully chose the messengers in angels and in human beings. He chose each and every prophet. He chose the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the last messenger. And he is the one who is hearing and seeing all the messages are being passed on or not. So he is the one who's managing the protocol. He's the one who's managing the entire process of communication. So there can be nothing wrong in this. The message has been passed on in its entirety, in its purity, to be followed. يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. He knows what is before them and what is after them. وَإِلَى اللَّهِ تُرْجَعُ الْأُمُورِ. And to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the matters will return on the day of judgment. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu rka'u wasjudu wa'budu wa rabbakum waf'alul khayra la'allakum tuflihun. O you who believe, bow and prostrate and worship your Lord and do the good so that you may be successful. The recipe of success, to be tuflihun, to be amongst those who are successful, is you bow and prostrate and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is our Lord, and do good things, do things that are beneficial for others and for beneficial for you. This is ayatul sajda, meaning we have to prostrate, we have to make one sajda on this ayah. So we have just one ayah left, so we'll complete that ayah, we'll complete the class for today, and inshallah all of us should make the sajda. Don't forget to make the sajda, ayatul sajda. It is mandatory to perform the sajda and one prostration after it. So the action for us that is coming clear cut, and it is a straightforward action. O you who believe, bow and prostrate and worship your Lord and do all the good so that you may be successful. Do good so that you may be successful, meaning do all things that are khair, that are beneficial for others. And I have taken exact direct action here. O you who believe, bow down and prostrate before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do good deeds to achieve falah, to be amongst tuflihun, to achieve ultimate success in this world as well as in the hereafter. Last ayah for today, wajahidu fillahi haqqa jihadi, and strive for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to him with the due striving, the way you should. So if you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will try your best, you will put in all the effort in order to be a better Muslim every day. You will put all the effort in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will put all the effort to pass on the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to pass on the message of Quran, to pass on the message given to us in the Hadith and Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You will strive, you will put in all your efforts, your resources, your youth, your time. You will not leave it to once I am old, I will start to be a better Muslim. Once I am 50, 60 years of old, anyways you will be weak and maybe your speech will not be that good as well. Don't leave it for the later time. You are young these days, and you have resources. As you grow, you will have more resources. Spend your time, spend your resources, spend your skills in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and strive for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way it is due, and the striving is due to him. Wajahidu fillahi haqqa jihadi. So we have to do it the way it is due. Huwaj tabakum wa ma ja'ala alaykum fid dini min harj. He has chosen you and not placed upon you in the religion any difficulty. Millata abikum Ibrahim, the religion of your father Ibrahim. Huwa sammakumul muslimin. He named you all Muslims. So this is where, this is the start. We know that the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, la ilaha illallah, has been coming in from all the prophets, all the messengers, and from Ibrahim alayhi salam as well. And he named us Muslims. And Islam as our religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Islam as our religion. Min qablu wa fi hadha liyakuna rasulu shahidan alaykum wa takunu shuhada ala nas. before and in this, that may be the messenger a witness over you, and you may be witnesses on the mankind. So all the messengers we know and all the prophets who are being brought to a nation, they will be witness. Yes, we passed on the message on the day of judgment. And even the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his last sermon that he gave, he said that I have passed on the message and you guys be the witness, and I will be witness over you as well, that the message has been passed on. Now, because he's the last prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so after that, all the people who are coming, it is the job of those to pass on the message to further and other generations. فَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِاللَّهِ. So establish the prayer and give zakah and hold fast to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning hold fast to the guidance given to us in the Holy Quran and live your life according to that guidance. Huwa maulakum. He is your protector. He is the only protector. He is the best protector. فَنِعْمَ الْمَوْلَى وَنِعْمَ النَّصِيرُ. So an excellent protector and an excellent helper. You cannot find a better protector or a better helper than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whenever you are faced with a problem, just stand up in prayer and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. He is the best protector. He is the best helper. And then you will see things opening up in front of you. You will see doors opening in front of you that you would never have imagined. This was the last ayah for today. There is a hadith related to this ayah. Very quickly, we'll go through it. We are slightly over time. Jazakumullahu khairan for staying. Religion is very easy, and the statement of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the most beloved religion to Allah azza wa jal, is the tolerant Hanifiya Islamic monotheism, that is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone and not to worship anything else along with him. Narrated Abu Huraira radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, religion is very easy, and whoever overburdens himself in his religion will not be able to continue in that way. We should not try to overburden ourselves with religion. If you are weak, then, and if you are not well, and if you have a disease, there are things that have been made easy in our religion. We should take that ease. For example, when you're traveling, you can shorten your prayer. When you're traveling, you can leave the fast as well. So there are a lot of things. Or if you're not well, then as well you can leave the fast, and then later on you can complete the count. So there are lots of things, lots of eases that are there. So we should not overburden ourselves when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided us the ease. So you should not be extremists, but try to be near to perfection and receive the good tidings that you will be rewarded. We have to strive ourselves. We have to be a better Muslim every day to the best of our capability, and gain strength by offering the salah in the mornings, afternoons, and during the last hours of the night. Prayer 5 times and prayer at the Hajj time, later hours of the night, is the greatest source of strength for a Muslim and the greatest source of getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This came from Sahih al-Bukhari, this hadith. This marks the end of today's lesson. Quickly, we will go through the 4 actions that we discussed. Number 1. 2 actions related to reciting and seeking guidance from Quran. We went through that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that whenever a revelation was being sent by a prophet and he was reciting it to the people, Shaitan tried to add whisper to it, and those people who had an evil intention in their heart and who did not have pure intentions, they were not able to get the benefit from that revelation, and they used to deviate and reject and be in doubt. So for us, the action is whenever we are trying to get good knowledge, when we are trying to recite Quran, when we are trying to understand Quran, when we are trying to listen to a good lecture, we should start it by seeking refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from shaitan. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. This is something that we should say. This is step number 1. Step number 2, keep our intentions pure. If we don't understand something, then it is a lack on our part. We should not think, oh, this doesn't make sense, this should be wrong. No, it's a lack of understanding on our part, because this has been the source of guidance for millions and billions of people. So we should also try our best to build our understanding and understand it. So continue to seek knowledge and pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance. Guidance comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but the guidance and action and to enable us to be better Muslims, this will come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are 2 types of people, and we have to decide in which group we are in. The first is those who purify their intentions and they seek guidance. They are the ones who will get rewarded. The second type are those who reject the guidance. They are in doubt and they are delaying stuff. Okay, fine, I will try to correct myself. I will pray when I am 50, 60, whatever. They will be caught by surprise, meaning their death will come or the day of judgment will come. Anyone can come and they will be caught by surprise, and they will then later on the day of judgment regret that, oh Allah, please send us back, we want to correct our ways. So try to be a better Muslim every day from now. So we have to choose. And there are only two types of people, by the way. There is no third type. Either the ones on the right path or the ones on the wrong path. You have to choose. And choosing is not like we discussed, like, yeah, of course, I mean, I want to go to Jannah, I'm on the right path. No, choosing means you have to mold your life accordingly. You have to make decisions accordingly. You may have to sacrifice from a worldly standpoint, but you will stay on the right path. You may face a lot of opposition from others, so you will stay on the right path. These are the people who are rewarded. So you'll have to make a lot of effort. Whenever in your life, number three, whenever your life you do any good deed, always remember that Allah SWT enabled you to do that good deed, and it was for your own sake, for your own akhirah. If you're doing something in the way of Allah SWT, you're not doing any benefit to Allah SWT. You're only doing it for your sake. That thing will be done. We discussed it. That task will be done. Even if you're driving past a car and you see someone in need, you help them. So you're helping actually yourself. If you keep on driving past, another car will come and help them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Wallahu khairur razaqeen. He is the one who is the provider of best rates. He is the one who provides to everyone. We have to only contribute to provide for our own sake and for our own akhirah. And this will also, when we will realize this fact that anyways, everything is given to me by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm just passing it on and I'm doing it for myself. This will help us to stay humble and not be arrogant. Finally, O you who believe, bow down and prostrate before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do good deeds to achieve falah, which means success, to be amongst tuflihun, So those people who are successful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, they are the one who pray, bow down in prostration, and they do good deeds. So once we finish this lecture, this was an ayatul sajda that came. Please make sure that you are doing and making that sajda. We will end today's class with this dua. Subhanallahi wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Purity belongs to Allah and all praise be to Him. Purity belongs to you, O Allah, and all praise be to you. I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship besides you. I beg forgiveness from you and I repent before you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers. Inshallah, I will see you next week, same time. Please don't forget to make the sajda. It will just take a minute. So immediately all of us can do it. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, so soon.